This is a sinkhole, a large piece of ground that just collapses in on itself without any warning. This happens when water underneath the surface begins to eat away at the rocks in the soil. The rock begins to dissolve and it leaves an empty hole right below the top layer of the ground. This top layer is suspended in the air until it can no longer support any weight, resulting in the ground collapsing.
Shalom. First of all, let's start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to teachers, elders, and apostles, great millstone, likewise, brothers, put on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep into brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson is titled Unstable Ground. Esau's empire shows frailty. Let's take a look at that word frailty in the ordinary dictionary, and it means the condition of being weak and delicate. The increasing frailty of old age, which Great Babylon America, this whore, is now suffering of old age. Okay, now you saw in the opening clip, I showed a contrast between what is known as a sinkhole, okay, and in this lesson we're going to see how this is related to Great Babylon America, because from the open eyes, okay, those who are still in the world, Great Babylon America would appear to be stable. It would appear that everything that it is built on is on stable ground. But when we peel back the layers, we can see that Great Babylon America was built on lies, lust, pride, envy, greed, and all of that accumulates into what is an unrighteous empire. And the Lord Yahweh Shai is bringing this place down by the words that are coming out of his prophet's mouth. In fact, let's go into the book of Malachi 1 and 4, because we can see that Esau, through his pride, believed that he would build an empire that is based on unrighteousness, and that somehow he is going to bypass the judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shai has for him. But that's not the case. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai had indignation for forever. Now when you take a look at Esau, okay, in the side clip here, in this comparison, you can see that the foundation of Great Babylon America, okay, or the foundation of Esau's empire, is based on lies. From the changing of the image of the dignitaries of the Bible, okay, the way this man has set up the image, okay, of the true biblical Hebrew Israelites on this earth, which is us, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, whose seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, as nothing more than slaves that they bought over, whom they have grown tired of, okay, something known as black fatigue now, which we're not black, and they have basically made a mockery of our people and hidden the truth from the world of who we really are and who they are. But the layers are being peeled away. You see, we're exposing the lies. We can see that the lust that this man have for power, okay, the pride that he has, the envy that he has against us, which is that hatred, okay, that goes way back to Genesis 27 and 41, where Esau said that he is going to come and murder his brother Jacob, which is the 12th tribe of Israel. And we see that taking place in different stages. He's greedy. He wants to have his cake and eat it. They want, okay, to get the inheritance of the heavenly kingdom, which is promised to us. But on their way there, they've committed nothing but murder, okay, and thievery and lies, because they will never ever admit who they really are. Okay, And the Lord, Yahweh Shai, has used his men in this time to show that Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man's kingdom, is unstable. It's imploding on itself. And you can look at the sinkhole, what happens? Okay? On the surface, everybody is thinking that everything is good. Okay? It looks solid, stable, but underneath, it's eroding. It's immoral. Okay? Immorality is at its highest. Evil, wickedness is at its highest. Okay? You see the collapse of this place when a little bit of pressure is put on it. The Lord Yahweh is putting pressure on this place. He's making the rulers of this place do or commit to his will to bring this place down. And we can see it. And you can see those that are caught on it, they fall through. So this is the reason why we always tell our people to avoid the path that they're following, which is Great Babylon America, because it is going to lead to death. In fact, let's go into the book of Amos 9, and starting with verse 8, it reads, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob," 12 tribe of Israel, the 1/3 elect, said the Lord Yahweh Shai. "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as a corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth." So the Lord already knows who are his. He's already chosen the 1/3 from the foundations of the earth. And amongst the 1/3, you have the 144,000 men. Okay, some may be in the spirit world, others are still walking upon this earth doing the work of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Continuing, it says, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us." Which we have these false prophets that are out there that are doing just that. They've taken the bag. They have no fear of the Lord Yahweh Shai because they believe that they're on stable ground. See, they believe these Edomites, who are trying to uplift this place, trying to make America great again. They believe in that, and they support it through their actions. "In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old." So simultaneously, okay, unbeknownst to those who are blinded by it, the Lord is destroying the kingdom of Esau, punishing the rebellion children of Israel, and building the house of David, which you can see that being done with the men of the Lord out in the highway and the byway, bringing out this gospel and this truth. Esau's kingdom is eroding. But if you're blinded by the gods of this world, which is Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, you would not notice that. You would be thinking that you're on stable ground. In fact, let's take a look at the latest of the ignorance of our people. Check this out. And as you saw in that video, here we are, 2025. And Jakes are pulling up a big banner of Malcolm X, chanting Black Power. What power do you have, Jake? What power do you have? Black power? You see yourself as black. Okay? And it's because they're being led by men that come as sheep in wolves' clothing. They're not being told the truth. Continuing, it says, "That they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen which are called by my name, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, that doeth this. So part of when this place is sunken, as you can see with that sinkhole, what eventually happens? Everything that's on top of it, everything that trusts in the stability of the surface, falls in. And this is going to be the result of Esau's wickedness. This is his judgment. He will implode, collapse. The doings of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. And for Jakes that trust in this system and trust in this man, you will be swallowed up also. Let's close out with the book of Matthew 7, verse 13. Because we always give a warning of integrating the ways of Esau in your life and in your heart. But do they listen? They don't. Continuing, this is Matthew 7, verse 13. It says, Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. See, it's easy to just go with what you want to work in those marches. Listen to the lies of Esau. Believe that the foundations of Great Babylon America is stable. To trust in only what you think is right. And avoid listening or close your ear to the words that the Lord put into the mouths of his prophets out here. Because it's easy. You see those people marching? Look at them. They range from teenagers all the way up to old men. Look at them. They think they're doing something good because they trust in the system. They trust in instability. It says, beware of false prophet, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravaging wolves. That can go from Christianity all the way to the Hebrew Israelite camps out here that don't teach you the name. They don't teach you about the salvation that's going to come to us. That the other tribes that are not part of Yasharallah are not going to partake in the kingdom other than being slaves. And they don't like that. They don't like that. They want to believe the wolves in sheep clothing. It says, ye shall know them by their fruits. See, you Jakes, you might as well just be Edomites. Because you're working even harder than some of these Edomites of trying to keep Great Babylon America, Esau's empire, afloat. But this empire is on and has been built on unstable ground, and it's showing its frailty to those who have their eyes open. Lord willing, the elect was edified. I'd like to close it by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Shalom.